Right, so Fantasia's avatar. Now, where did I put those avatars? Okay, so we have two versions. We've got the unmasked one and the masked one, and Fantasia wants the masked one to be the default, so that's going to be the one that we use. And it's going to be interesting with this character because in our game we don't have a clue how things are going to go. It's all improvised as we go along and decisions are made on the spot, so we don't know where people's character arcs are going to go or even when they're going to come into the game. But that's, to me, what makes it exciting. So who knows whether that mask will ever come off. Maybe, maybe not. A little bit like a night elf in WoW. Yeah, I love it. And I love that we've got a lot of races in our game as well. Like we've got fairies, we've got like beast races as well. You can see them all on the character forms on the website. And we even have barrels. We even have living objects, but they're not like available as a community character race. They're just created NPCs by us. Because yeah, we have two types of characters, either the community characters or the non-community characters. Because, you know, not every character in the game is going to be a community character. We're going to want to make room for non-community characters. So yeah, sometimes we randomly create whoever we want to create if a character fits in with the story. Work is crazy, but it's always nice to hear your voice. Oh no, silly work. Hope it calms down soon. Hi Rose, happy Wednesday. Hi National, how you doing? It's good to see you, National. How's it going? So now it's bio time. We're going to work top to bottom with the character sheet. So what should we do? So I'm going to just copy. I'm literally going to just copy what Fantasia's put in the form. But we might need to change the wording a bit because we always have our sheets in first person. Let me remind myself. Yeah, we have the character sheets written in first person. And some people fill in their character sheets in third person, which is totally fine. All I'll do is reword it so it's in first person, and that's just for consistency. And I think this is in first person anyway, so I think we're all good. Trying to figure out where, because all the text has been posted onto online, so that can, there we go. Put that there so that it's all even, all the lines, and we'll just have to make a bit more room, I think, because there's not much of a margin there. Is it okay to make a really long one? I guess it depends how long. I encourage you to write a long paragraph if that's what you want to do. But if it's going to be like a novel or anything like multiple paragraphs, I'd recommend making a separate Google document or something and popping it in the Discord in the ideas channel. There's about 3 people, Akira, Azriel and Chub Cheeks, and there might be a couple of others who have done that. They've just expanded on what they've written in their character sheet and put a Google Doc in a Discord for whenever, you know, it'll be useful to read that. And I think the reason why I recommend doing that is because, you know, otherwise the character sheet's going to be like ridiculously long and it'll go on forever. And, you know, there's only really so much space before it would start to look silly. And as a visual graphic, if you know what I mean. So yes, probably just put the main things in the character sheet, like a summary of what you want to say about them, but when it comes to really expanding it, then yeah, a Google Doc or any kind of doc will be great. Okay, so what did you just write? With people to use and create as much Discord as possible, using people who want to do evil, from the simple of wanting personal revenge to wanting to destroy things, make my enjoyment greater. Okay, so sometimes I might like just make the wording a little bit more concise, so I might just do that, but I do try to keep what's the word, loyal to what's written on the person's character sheet. I try to keep as close as possible to what the person has typed in themselves. But obviously, if there's ever typos or anything I feel could be made a little bit more, for more clarity, then I'll make a slight edit. Using people who want to do evil, from the simple of wanting personal revenge to wanting to destroy things. Okay. From wanting... Okay, I think that was it. I just cut a couple of little bits because I think it's a little bit more clear. And of course, guys, if you think if anything doesn't make sense to you, then let me know and I'll reword it. But I think that works. This is so interesting. Oh, thank you, Alice. That's awesome. Sometimes I do always hope, like especially for people that are new here or just popping in, that nothing is too like intimidating, should I say, like, because it could be. I could understand for sure if people feel like, oh, I don't understand what's going on here, so I always try to like say as much as I can and answer any questions that people have. And I've made a couple of series on YouTube as well, so I'm going to get my YouTube command up. I'm doing a story so far series, which are kind of like little mini videos that I'm going to be doing every time there's a story update to the game, and that will hopefully like keep people in the know of what on earth is happening, and also a lore discussion series as well. And there's one video each there so far, and now there'll be another one this month, I'm hoping, for the story so far, because we have a lot of content that's happened in the second quest that needs to be updated. Good thing I don't have to write anything. I can never keep things short. Yeah, well, it all depends, guys. Like, it's all your choice when it comes to making a character. Some people have kept their character sheets really short, and that's fine. If you don't want to expand on your character and you want to leave things up to us, that's okay. But it's also okay to like really go deep with lore as well. And of course, sometimes that lore might have to be adjusted slightly if there's ever like a clash with what we've already written or another character's lore. Like say if, you know, there's a bit of a clash, like there's two reptile races and they completely don't work with each other. If there's ever anything like that happens, then we might have to make slight adjustments, but I try not to. I want to keep it as close as possible to what you guys have visioned with your character. But yes, yeah, so we'll see how it goes, but it could help to have a look at the characters that are already in the game. If anyone ever feels like having a click on the character sheets, they're in the Discord and on the website. So sometimes some people have got some ideas just from looking at other character sheets. Legmog did with mine. He created his character as like an extension on my character's story arc, and it's actually pretty cool. He's made like a doppelganger of Rose, my character, and it's really actually quite amusing. So I'll be looking forward to doing that bit. Is the height about the same among all the people? Yeah, it sort of is really, and I think that's kind of just the RPG Maker sprite style. I think having different heights is actually quite tricky to implement in the engine because everything's kind of constrained to a 48 by 48 pixel grid. So you can't really go above the 48 pixels unless you've got a special plugin. And I have got some small characters though, like Oliver the little cookie jar, who is on the main page of the website. He's like almost half the size of the others, and the fruits are quite small as well, the fruit boss characters, and we'll be going back to those next week and working on that boss battle with those, so that'll be fun. Yay. I'm sure I'll pick things up more as I watch. Yeah, and that's what it is really. Like, you sometimes just hanging out and listening, you can find things out, and it's not like you have to know about the game and the story to hang out here. Some people don't and just enjoy chilling. And at the end of the day, when episode 1's released, you guys had the option to play it then, and yeah, so that'll be when everyone does find out what it's about. But in the meantime, obviously, story so far really helps, I think, for until episode 1's release. How are the avatars created? Or these working here, like the tool I'm using for them to walk across, or do you mean the actual visuals, like how have I managed to do the art? Is that what you mean, Argo? Because I just want to make sure I answer your question properly, of course. Okay, so we're going to make this a little bit bigger, this margin. I think I always have trying to get the measurements. There's about a 44 pixel margin there. And I want to keep it consistent, so let's have a look at someone else's. This is Azrael, the cute little kitty. He looks a little bit more badass on the actual avatar though than he does on his sprite. He looks like he'll really sort you out if you cross him. Okay, yeah, so 44 pixels. So it's pretty easy now to like move the stuff compared to before. What I'm going to do is make the canvas larger, I think. It's still a little bit, you know, what's the word, you know, bit of a hassle to shift things down, but everybody's character sheets are different lengths, so it's something that has to happen, but the rest is straightforward. So we've got different layers, so it's not like it's not doable. So going to look a little bit messy for a bit until we move everything down. Keyboard ASMR chat. That's what we had then, and what we'll be having quite a bit this stream because we've got some keyboard stuff to do. Lots of okay, I think that's fine. The one on the character sheet, sorry. You mean this one here? The way we do the characters is honestly just the RPG Maker generator. In RPG Maker, there is a tool that's a generator, and it lets you put together the character just like you would in a game. Like, it lets you pick the face shape, the eyes, the mouth, the nose, and we just build the character that way. And sometimes the generator doesn't have everything you want, so I usually, if that's the case, I usually save it and take it into Photoshop and give it an edit to the look that we need. But you know, sometimes that isn't necessary either, but it all depends on the character that we need to make. I like that it makes the fairy people more similar to being like those cool Amy Brown fairy art. Amy Brown fairy art, I want to see that now. I always want to try and understand these references so I know what you guys are talking about. What are you creating right now? Hi Jimmy, how you doing? Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. We're doing character sheets, guys. If we've got quite a few to do, a few community character sheets. We've got 11 in total. So the goal is to do about half of them today and half of them on Friday. Oh, I see. Yeah, the fairy race is interesting, and honestly, the races are all really interesting because the lore is really undecided. And you guys, when you make your characters, that's like a way you get to, you know, sort of create lore yourself. I mean, Fantasia's done it just by saying that she's a villain, an antagonist who wants to kill people, and you know, she is, you know, not your traditional fairy. And that's great because subverting expectations is always fun, and I like it. I like this masked fairy. It feels quite unique. Oh my god, Argo, you are spoiling me. My goodness me. Thank you so much for the 4,000 bits. Thank you so much. Can we have some hype in chat, guys? My goodness me. Thank you so much. And don't forget, I'm going to say, because 500 bits in total is quite a, I mean 5,000, sorry, is quite a large number, and you do get a Vivi bit badge unlocked from that, and Vivi's super cute. So if you ever do want to show it off in chat, you totally can. But of course, some people don't like Vivi, so, but who wouldn't? Thank you so much for the hype. Have more people gone for villains or heroes? Good question, Alice. It's kind of mixed, in all honesty. I think we've got 4 antagonists at the moment, but we'll have more when we've done the rest of the character sheets. Because I think there's another 2. I can't remember now. Yeah, there's another 2, I think. So there'll probably be 6 or 7 antagonists altogether when we've got all of them done. But there's, I think, 3 or 4 right now. But as for heroes, there's quite a few of those too, because the playable characters in the game are generally the heroes, and we've got quite a few of those. So everybody's different. Some people want to be a villain, and other people want to be, you know, a good guy or someone who's part of the party. So it all depends. I mean, I'm good. My character's good, but she's misunderstood because she's a vampire, and people think that she wants to kill everybody, but she doesn't. Hi Guy, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by as well. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. And thank you so much for the hype as well, chat, for those crazy, amazing amount of bitties from Argo. Super appreciate the support. It means a lot. A starving game dev like me goes a long way. Okay, so we're going to move these down again. Wonder if there's an easier way to move things down in Photoshop precisely by pixel. To be honest, I'm going to just look at our templates and just do judge it from there. Okay, so now Fantasia's goal. Let's have a peep at the character sheet, the character form. Okay, to cause confusion and mayhem. Awesome. Because on the character forms, I've put a number of different goals. They're different for allies and antagonists. And I'm totally up for ideas. If there's any like goals that aren't on there, and anybody here thinks, oh, they would be good, but they're not on the form, then feel free to let me know and I'll add them. Same goes for character classes as well. And the other antagonists don't have this goal, which is pretty cool that we've got one with a different goal. And just because some have got the same goal doesn't mean they'll be the same, you know, they'll still be different. The goal is just something to go from, to help as a starting point with the character. Okay, so we can put the sprite now down here. Okay, I think that is about the right amount of space. So I'm going to just use Rex's as a template. There we go. So what I do now is I get all their walking directions put in to show off the sprite, because I think it's nice to show the sprite on the character sheet too. So here she is. How long has this been in development? Cool, Tyrion. Oh, have I not got my Better Twitch TV installed? Because it's not showed up for me. I love that emote. but yes, that's a good question as well. We're on stream 135 today, and we've been doing this for about a year now. So yes, about a year, but I'd say we've only been doing it consistently for about 6 or 7 months, because the start of the project was the streams were very inconsistent and were only once a month at some points. But yeah, for since about September, October last year, I started doing it more regularly. So it's been about half a year, and it's been fun. We're still very early days on it because it's only been, less than a year, and we're on episode 1 content, because this is episodic, and I think because of the nature of the project, I think that suits it most. Because I'm not gonna lie, guys, if it was going to be a full game, you'd be waiting potentially a decade. But with it being episodes, we've got a chance of something coming out every 1 year or every 2 years on average. So, because I want quite a bit of content in each episode, lots of side quests as well as main quest stuff. So, be nice to get at least, you know, a bit of time out of an episode. Those wings are fantastic. I really like that Sprites palette. Yeah, they're beautiful. It's kind of, we're going with whatever colour the hair is, the wings will match the hair. And yeah, she's purple, so purple wings. And we've got another fairy character coming up as well, and it's a fairy boy, and I love it because we haven't got a fairy boy in the game yet. And it was really good to see someone here create a male fairy character, because it just feels different. There's some really cool characters. They're all really different, and I like that. Okay, I think they were aligned properly. Double checking, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. So Rex's can go now. There we go. So now we can fill in. We've got to get all this tidied up, but now we're going to fill in the personality. So highlight the layers that we need. Yeah, I think the border goes. I've done it so it looks like they're standing on the border. Oh, I think she is up a little bit high there, actually. But yeah, someone asked me last stream, well, we got onto the topic of like the game's lifespan and how long it's going to take. And my answer to that was that I'd rather, you know, it be a good quality thing that takes a decade than something rushed that's over in a couple of years. And even if, like, say I end up having other commitments, like another job on the side, even if it's a full-time one, I'd still like do this. It would just, the schedule would just have to be less often, but it wouldn't be like stopped or cancelled or anything, because this is like something I mega enjoy. But yeah, it's not anything that's going to be over with fast, I'll tell you that, because I've got plans to build an epic fantasy world, an epic big world, and we've only got one region so far, so there's a lot that can be done. Okay, I'm just going to see something because I want to make sure. I can be a bit of a fuss pot with making sure everything's consistent. I don't want the character sheets to look different, so. But yeah, that's fine. Okay, so personality time. We'll move down these questions now. I might need to tidy up the layers a little bit because they're a bit messy at the moment. It might be a bit easier doing this if I tidy them up and group them up a bit. Okay, so now this is the fun bit. Well, it's all the fun bit. So let's have a look at what Fantasia's filled in for personality. Apathetic is the emotional disposition. It's strange how this font makes such a huge gap between the A and the other letter. So let's bring that in. Apathetic, so she's an apathetic fairy lady. We're going to be learning more about her. Pessimistic, that's filled in. What's here so far is, you know, what was in the template from another character, so ignore it all. Apathetic and pessimistic are fine. Deceitful. Which is to be expected. She's an antagonist, but then again, not every antagonist has to be deceitful. There could be some honest antagonists out there, like, you know, there's that quote, every villain is a hero in their own story. Controlled is the next one. Cautious, yeah. Oh, narrow-minded, so. And reserved and rebellious, which we're already in, so I'm going to just double check they are definitely the ones. Apathetic, pessimistic, deceitful, controlled, cautious, narrow-minded, reserved and rebellious. Yay. Okay, now the last bit. This is the last bit now, and major NPC is what she is, and that's the label we've got up, so awesome. And we will probably after, because we've got a bit of gap there from when we made it bigger, but we'll tidy it up at the end once we've got all the text in and know what size it's going to be, because we don't know at the moment. Some people put more text in than other people, so the length of the sheet, you know, might have to be changed depending on that. Is it possible that a protagonist became an antagonist? Well, you never know. This is what I love about character arcs, because I always, what I like most, the characters I like most are the ones that go through a transformation. I always expect that somehow they're different at the end of the story compared to how they were when you first met them. But that same goes for their backstory. They could have been a good guy in their past but became bad because of what happened in their lives, or vice versa. So it's not just about what we see in the game, the stories in the game. The backstory is important too, and what they've gone through before the events of the game have begun. So I'm personally a big fan of transformation in characters, and that's why when Rex asked me, oh, can my guy be a possible optional party member if you make choices, and you know, can he redeem himself? I was like, totally, because I love that sort of thing. And the idea of an antagonist, someone who's an antagonist when you meet them, becoming someone who's potentially your ally based on the choices you make in the game, and a party member too, is pretty cool. But the opposite way around is cool as well, like those people that are good and are your party members but then become bad. I find that pretty fascinating too. They could be misguided or misinformed, yeah. There's just so many reasons why someone's the way they are. I really like character development. And guys, who's heard of TV tropes here? Because that is a website I go on, tvtropes.org. I've spent my life on that website. It's really good for just getting the ideas flowing when it comes to characters and anything at all to do with writing. Used to love that website. Oh, you've been on it too, guys, so you know how addicting it is, I'm sure. I just could spend forever just reading through everything. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, and I use it a lot for this project as well. But yeah, I'll warn you, it will steal your life. Okay, so what type of faction would you be a part of? So, a band of outcasts or a will cult. So, in the character form for this question, I think it's only there for the major NPCs. It's not there for playable characters or minor NPCs, and it's there just as a guide. You get a choice out of a few faction types that you'd be a part of, and it's literally just a guide for me to get an idea of what your character would be like if there was in a faction, like what type of faction it would be. And because factions are going to exist in Raindrop Chronicles, and I'm a big fan of that kind of thing, and different lore. I'm a lore nerd. I think the definition of those two are narrative driven as well. So in order for a protagonist to become an antagonist, it will be within the same space of narrative. Interesting examples could be 2 films, American Psycho and Falling Down. Yeah, and that's a really awesome thing about TV tropes as well. It gives examples of media that have done that same trope. And it's just very inspiring. And some people don't like it because they're like, he puts everything in the same box. But honestly, everything uses a trope. It might seem a bit cliche sometimes, but everything uses a trope in one way or another. And using it as a tool or just for a guide or a starting point just can help a lot. It's better than having no idea at all. I've never actually watched either one. It's time to watch a ton of movies, guys. I've always said I need to watch more movies because I haven't got the time these days. Same for reading books. I've got all these books on my shelf and I'm neglecting them. But I really want to actually spend time actually getting back into things because it's good inspiration as well to watch and read things. Learning about tropes is very important for writing. Yeah, I'm glad you think so, guys. Because I've seen, I see a lot of criticism about tropes, and people are like, they're so cliche. And I'm like, they don't have to be though. Because to me, I sometimes, if I see a trope, I like changing it up a bit, and that can be fun to do. It doesn't have to be cliche at all. You got to be creative with them. But there's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned trope either, Stories tell these tropes differently. It's called TV tropes. If it's called TV cliches, it'd be another story. Yeah, true. I need to play games and read my light novels. I have such a huge backlog. Yeah, Argo is the same as me then. And it's like, I want to read them all. I want to watch everything, and then the day's over. Just don't get the time. It's already 4 a.m. and I'm like, oh no. And lately it's because of Animal Crossing. That's what I'm playing at the moment. How long has this project been going on? Are you making this all by your own? Oh, we've been doing it since April last year, Jimmy. That was the very first stream. Our very, very first stream of Raindrop Chronicles was April last year, because I used to stream a lot of RPG related games before I jumped into this project, but now I literally exclusively do this now just because it's a lot of fun to do, and I actually prefer playing games off stream because it makes me enjoy them more. But this has been really fun to do on stream. And yes, I do it myself. So this is all built by me, guys. And that's another reason I use RPG Maker, because it lightens the load. Because the good thing about RPG Maker is everything's already there. You don't really have to do too much code yourself because everything's already there. And you can actually start putting things together within a few minutes in that software. And you can make something playable quite fast. But yeah, if you want to be ambitious about it, you need to kind of put a bit more in and find some cool plugins out there and stuff. But it's a good one, and there are lots of good games that were made in that engine. To the Moon was one. That's an awesome game. No, but you can always make an idea that's being used before your own. Yeah, and I do really recommend Falling Down, early 90s films with Michael Douglas, and it's such a tragedy of a story. Awesome, thanks for the recommendation, Guy, because I haven't seen that one either. So, it can be useful to just watch these things. Sounds interesting. What's your top 5 favourite RPGs? Ooh, hard question. I'm going to have to say, I probably can't give you an exact top 5, but I can tell you what some of my favourites are. The Witcher 3 would be top of the list. Following that, some of the PS1 Golden Era Final Fantasy games, 7, 8, 9 and 10 as well. Those 4 in particular were my Final Fantasies. And Lost Odyssey, that was only on the 360, but I love it with all my heart, and it was actually made by Sakaguchi as well. It was written by him, he was the creator of all those Final Fantasies I love. And what else do I like? Mass Effect Trilogy is another. I love that. What other RPGs do I like? Those are the ones that always spring to mind the fastest. I'm always like The Witcher 3, Mass Effect, and the mid Final Fantasy games. But I do have a soft spot for Final Fantasy 14 as well. Final Fantasy 14 actually does have a really good story, especially the expansions, and the most recent one in particular. I'm not sub to it at the moment, but I do really enjoy that one. Lost Odyssey. Moonshadow is my twinsy. He loves Lost Odyssey too. A lot of people have never heard of it, and even those that have probably wouldn't even feel that motivated to play because it's so underrated. And it gets kind of complaints that it's too traditional and turn-based, and I'm like, no, that's good. I like my turn-based games. Are you following any other game developers on Twitch? How did you decide in starting making games on Twitch? I'm not. There's probably a couple I'm following, Jimmy, because there's some that have really been super nice and raided me, so I've dropped them a follow afterwards. But I haven't really gone out my way to be integrated in the community or anything, mainly because of time reasons. If I had more time, then I totally would. But how did you decide in starting making games in Twitch? Just because honestly, it was just a random idea. I think I just felt I needed to do something different in terms of my content, because I wasn't really getting the enjoyment I wanted from playing video games as much. It was okay, but I felt a bit unproductive and like I wasn't unique enough, so it kind of pushed me to try something different. And I was like, you know what would be really good? Just go messing about in RPG Maker, because it'll really be nostalgic, because I messed about it for years when I was a kid. It's one of those things that took years out of my life just doing silly things in RPG Maker 2000, and I thought, you know, I kind of feel like just creating something in that. And at first I didn't really take it very seriously. It was just for a bit of fun and messing around. And then over time, as the months went on, I was like, actually, this is becoming, I'm more serious about this now, and this is what it is now. So, yeah. How do you get raindrops? I'm lurking in stream, Alice. So, for every 10 minutes you're in stream, you get 1 raindrop, and double that if you're a sub. So you'll just gather them over time. It's simply from lurking. So that's the trick. That's the trick to getting the raindrops. But you can't be a bot, because there's a couple of cheeky people out there that have put themselves on a bot to get raindrops, and they're not even in the stream right now. But they've put my channel on a bot to get raindrops. I'm like, I know who you are. You can't do that, because people are genuinely lurking and being awesome and supportive. So no cheating. I like the points in other I like the points in other streams. So so that's the trick. I think some of my favourites are Dark Cloud, Legend of Dragoon, Persona 3 and 4, Digimon World Next Order, partially because of how much I love Digimon, and Final Fantasy 8, 9 and 10. Awesome. I also really like Persona 5 as well. That was a recent game I've played that I actually did really enjoy as well. But I've not played 3 and thought 4. Also, I was a bit of a nerd for Pokemon Yellow back in the day as well, but for some reason I never played the others after. But I was obsessed with the first one when I was a kid. But I've never played Dark Cloud and Legend of Dragoon, but I've heard really good things about Legend of Dragoon. But yeah, I hope I've not missed any chat, because sometimes it happens. Sometimes when chat is unusually busy, it can happen. So if that ever does happen, guys, don't be afraid to say it again. I will not be offended in the slightest. Right, so let's fill this in. A band of outcasts or a weird cult? Biggest flaw. I think that one's down here. Okay, so she's got a master. Interesting. And we don't know who this master is that she's talking about here in these answers, which could potentially leave us an opportunity to create a character ourselves. That's her master, and maybe he'd wear a mask like her too. I could literally imagine her being in a faction or ruling a faction of people who all wear those masks. You know, possibility. I'm going to look up the trope masked villain after this stream and see what ideas spring to mind. But you know, Facia Moonstar, we might not meet her even in episode 1. She could be an antagonist that comes later, because it'll be whenever the opportunity arises. Who knows when it could be. I imagine we'll be meeting a lot of characters and factions when we get to bigger cities though, and at the moment we're in a really small little humble village. But when we do, at the point in the game we get some bigger cities, I can imagine for sure meeting a lot of these guys. 3 is the best in my opinion. I've heard that one's really dark, but I like dark. I do have a bit of a soft spot for dark themed things. Raindrop Chronicles has kind of been more comedy than anything at this stage, with, you know, the living barrel characters and stuff, but I'm definitely not gonna say no to a few dark themes thrown in either. Must be tough being long distance with Rex. Me and Guy did it for 3 years and that was in the same country. Oh really? How long have you two been together, and where did you meet? I'm super curious. And yeah, it's just, you know, I never imagined myself being with someone who lived on another continent, but I think when you get on with someone a lot, I think, you know, you think, why not? But me and Rex were like friends for months and months and months before we even decided to take that step. But yeah, we were very like hesitant at first because of that, for sure. But then it just got to the point where it was like we'd kind of feel sad if we didn't at least give it a go. About 7.5 years. Oh my goodness, that is that is a pretty long time. Congratulations. I was gonna say that's one of the longest relationships I know, but you know, there's a couple that I know that have been together for 10 years. So, but these days it seems like everybody breaks up after like 2 years, so it's really good to like, it's really nice to see someone who's been together so long. Congrats, guys. We met in school, but Guy was a few years older than me, didn't date until years later. Oh, awesome. That's nice. That's super lovely. You guys seem super cool. And you have good taste in games as well. What is your deepest, darkest secret? Okay. And there's only one more bit to fill in now. There we go. So we gotta organise this because it's... We have a massive gap that shouldn't be there. Okay, so I'm just seeing the margin size here. So I think it's 18 pixels. So if we can just bring that logo up, then this is literally it then. We've done this character sheet. GG us. Hi, Sam King. What's off away where? I understand, don't worry. I know what you're trying to say. Here is the program, Same King. RPG Mode Creme V. Feel free to have a little look. I don't actually put in my stream title that we're using RPG Mode Creme V. I used to, but I got rid of it, and that's simply because there's no room. There's no more room for text. And but yeah, we've got the command there ready. And when we get the FAQ page up and running, that's probably gonna be the first question on the FAQ page about the software. GG, another character sheet complete. Yes, we've got 11, but it seems like it's going to take a while, and it probably will because there's 11, but it's going to be way faster than how it used to be before we had this template. I'm not kidding, guys. The old method was super slow, so I'm really glad that we're doing it this way now. Basically, none of it was editable. Had to like put brand new text boxes there. Okay, so I think that's fine. Crop that now because we don't need that bottom bit. I think I've accidentally cropped off the other banners though, which is the only issue. Because I have the other banners here as well for playable character and minor NPC. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep them up there but hide them. I can see an extra pixel there that shouldn't be. So let's just fix that. Done. Yay. Okay. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's any typos. I'm going to put it on Twitter later today after stream. Because if we do it now, it's gonna take time away from getting the other character sheets done. And the goal was to do at least half of them today. I don't know if we will, but we'll see. So, Fantasy's is done. And yeah, so I'm going to put that on Twitter later. So, if you're not following Raindrop Chronicles on the Twitter, well, mine's there as well. Oh, the bot's already done it for us. It read my mind. So, those are there, and all the character sheets will get put on there gradually. Okay, so I'm going to save this as a PSD as well, because might regret it if there are typos and something needs changing and we haven't done that. So there we go. Let's move on to the next one then. So, Trello page. Put a tick there now for character sheet. I'm also going to add a new thing to this. I'm going to put posted on Twitter, which we haven't done yet. So I'm going to put across, just so I know who's been put on Twitter and who hasn't, because it's so easy to just forget these things. How do I earn raindrops? Right, so let's get that command up. We've got a character command here. So once you've got 500 raindrops, you can be a character in the game. Find out more on the website. Type raindrops to see how many raindrops you have. So all you have to do is type raindrops. Oops, did I steal coffees? No, we both got it up. Yeah, so that'll tell you how many you've got, and it will just gradually increase the longer you spend in stream. So it's just all done from lurking. You will slowly gather those raindrops the more hours you spend in stream. And as you can see, I have lots. Well, I should have lots because I'm the streamer. So cute, yay. Moon is so close to the 500 now, yay. So guys, yeah, so the limit for the raindrops probably will be increasing by the summer. I mean, it's only May now, so you've still got time. If it gets to the point that a lot of you are close to the 500, I'm not going to be super mean and be like, no, you can't, it's 1,000 raindrops now. I'll probably let you guys like get past the threshold first and then put the 1,000 raindrop limit on, because at some point I'm gonna have to do that. I will have to change it to 1,000 because we'll end up with a bazillion characters in the game, which is great. I mean, I love that people want to be a character, but for the sake of the game and its quality, there will have to be we will have to make it slightly harder for peoples. But at the same time, I don't want to scare off new people either. It's about it's a funny thing, isn't it? But I think we'll be fine. We'll see how it goes. How you doing, Coffee? It's good to see you. Okay, so we are on Dava now. Dava's character. So Dava is also a major NPC, but he's an ally, not an antagonist. So we're going to see Dava. Here we go then. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just fill in over Fantasias for Dava's character. And we'll do it top to bottom. Dava is called Dava as well, Dava Paladion. So he's the same as who he is. My character's called Rose Rainblood as well. But some people have gone completely different to who they are, which is also cool. And Dava is a human ally. So, right, so now we got to just put Dava's face there instead. Because we don't want Fantasia's face. He's a really sweet old guy. He's a blacksmith. You'll find out more about him now. We fill in his stuff. I've spelt that right, haven't I? I want to be a hedgehog. I'm alive. How is the coding art process? You said in the motivation video that you don't do it. No. Oh, so you watch that. That's awesome, Coffee. I'm glad you watched it. But yeah, that's a good question as well. And I talked about this on stream the other day, actually. And it's honestly like, if you're one person working on a project, it would be very overwhelming if you had to do everything yourself. And that's why most games are a team, you know, because it takes the load off one person. And if I want this project to last as long as possible, like years and years, I need to make sure that I'm not putting too much on my plate, because it's just not going to be sustainable for me to keep up with long term otherwise. So yeah, I made the decision to not code or do art because those are both very time consuming things. I never studied code at school. It wasn't a subject for me growing up because it wasn't compulsory back then. And I do have some limited knowledge of code, you know. I know my way around code, but I'm definitely no pro. No pro for sure. So for that reason, RPG Maker's the perfect software for someone like me who isn't a coder to actually get a game, make a game. And same for art. Like, art is so time consuming. Like, if I did 100% of the art myself in this project, we probably would still be at the very beginning, you know. We would barely have done anything, because that in itself is very, very time consuming. And it's all about just knowing what you want to do. Like, for me, I don't really have a passion for making art, so it wouldn't have been something that I would have gone out of my way to do. I'm more about storytelling, so this is a storytelling project for me. And luckily there's people online that let you use your assets, people that you can use them, commercial projects or non-commercial projects. People are so kind that they let you do that, as long as you credit them, of course, which will be happening. All credits will be there in the game. Yeah, exactly. I'm a storyteller, and that's what it's about. You can't do everything, can you? Because it would drive you barmy. It would eventually. It would anyway. I know my limits, and for me, I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to keep up with it if I put that much on myself. You know, so for sure. But yeah, if you want to be a hedgehog, I mean, you only can pick one of the 8 races that are there on the list, but who knows? You could be a human that accidentally had a spell put on her where she's a human that is unfortunately at the moment a hedgehog because she had someone put a spell on her. You could always be super creative with your character and do something like that. I mean, that's what I did with mine. Rose is a human too, but I wanted to be a vampire, and vampire isn't a race in the game, so I was like, I'm going to be a human that was turned into a vampire. And that's the way I've done it. So you can always be creative, even if you're limited to the 8 races. Okay, so has David got a bio? But that's awesome, Coffee, that you watched that video. I'm glad you are, because I'm enjoying doing those. I think it's I want you guys to know more about me as well, and understand me and my values. And I like to, you know, be a voice and give guidance if I can. So I'll probably do a few more of those videos over time. Hedgehogs are cute though. They're very cute. And there's a lot of animal assets out there, so I'm sure there's a hedgehog one. And if not, we'll make one. Because like I said, yeah, I don't do all the art, but if there's an opportunity to create a really cool, interesting character, then I will do an asset for it. Yeah, I'll do the art then, but not all of it. Okay. Hi, how are you doing? Hi, Forgotten. How are you doing? It's good to see you again. Welcome back to the stream, Forgotten. How is your Wednesday treating you? We today, Forgotten and anyone who's popped in, we're doing character sheets. So this is what you're seeing here, us doing some more community characters for the game. I think that's okay. I think I might actually... There we go. I think that's a bit better. It looked a bit close to the margin before. And the good thing is about Dave's bio is it's the exact same length as Fantasia's, so we don't need to decrease or increase this, which is good. Semi Work, how are you doing? Thank you so much for that host. How are things, Semi? I hope you had a good stream. How are you guys doing? And thank you, Muscarian, for that follow, by the way. I appreciate that. Sammy Work, let's give Sammy Work a shout out. Let's see what Sammy Work was up to. You were doing some game dev today, I see. Or maybe something else entirely, who knows? Tell us about how your stream went. We had a nice little stream. Have a nice stream, thank you. I like your emote, it's brilliant. I love that expression. But I'm glad you had a nice stream. And welcome, guys, those who are popping in. We're doing some character sheet stuff today. So if anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask. I always try my best to answer. I always enjoy going off on a ramble sometimes. Sometimes that happens. We can spend all stream just rambling about things and not do any work. But that is ultimately, guys, why I only stream 3 days a week. Because those days off stream are super valuable to get stuff done. And I usually spend those days off just doing the game, you know, getting in super focus mode. Because usually streams aren't the time to get into super focus mode because they can be very chatty, and I see it as the community time. And let me catch up with chat because I know that I miss some. I can't help but think of the Sonic movie every time someone says Hedgehog. Alice is going to be Sonic the Hedgehog in Raindrops, lol. Well, I'm excited. Whatever you want to be. Like, I know that you are limited to 8 races, so that is somewhat limiting, but there is an opportunity to be creative. I won't disallow subclasses or you know, because there's a couple of people who have gone as a halfway point between 2 races, like half wolf, half human, and they're like a sub race of the canines, and that's pretty creative and interesting. And as I said, I love the idea of introducing factions, so that's awesome. And same, you know, if anyone wants to bring a bit of magic into things and be turned into a creature because of a spell or something, then that is fine too. I mean, the lore of our game is kind of very much about spell. We have a lore video. Let me put the lore video in chat. That's about a magical spell that turns things into sentient beings that shouldn't be sentient, but that's more about objects rather than animals. But you know, I'm sure there could be spells where you turn into animals too. It's a fantasy world after all. When it's fantasy, there's anything's possible, you know. So it's an opportunity to get super creative. Good so far, Forgotten said, but slow in not being able to go out and all. Did you finish the pig mask character? Oh, you remember the pig mask Forgotten Crusader? I'm still in the process of getting that asset done. I'm glad you asked, because I wasn't satisfied. I want him to look super good because I love pigs. And I think this character that wears a pig mask there's an opportunity to get really creative there with that character. And I decided that I will create him as an original asset, which, as you guys know, I don't really do the art in this game. I try and limit what art I create, and so it eases my workload. But now and again, I might be like, yeah, I'm going to create an original asset, which is what I'm going to do with the pig mask, because from the assets we had, I wasn't very satisfied. It didn't look cute enough, that's what. It didn't look cute enough. But we've got the sprite, we've got the pig mask sprite, we just haven't got the face, so I'll be doing the face myself. Seems like a very cool project. Glad I was recommended to your channel. Thank you, Mascara, and that's super kind of you. We have a pretty niche, cool stream here. I think I'm really happy with it, and I'm happy with the awesome, cool people that hang out. I'm glad that you came too. Thanks so much for clicking on this stream. I was thinking more like the Brothers Grimm story, Hans the Hedgehog, but Sonic works. They use the story in the new Witcher series, the hedgehog guy who hooks up with Ciri's mom. Oh really? I still haven't watched the new. Are you talking about the Netflix one? Because I haven't watched it yet. Can you believe it? The Witcher 3 is my favourite game, and I haven't watched the series. And honestly, guys, it's because I'm scared. Because I loved The Witcher 3 so much. I'm just scared that something's not going to live up to my expectations. But I've heard it's really good, so I shall give it a chance. In your opinion, what aspects do make a game great? I think good writing. In all honesty, good writing. I have said before that if the mechanics are a little dodgy, and outdated, that's not a deal breaker for me. If the game is a little bit old-fashioned or a bit, you know, not up to scratch in terms of mechanics, I can totally let that slide if the writing in the game is exceptional, because that's what keeps me hooked and keeps me going. I've played plenty of games where the mechanics are just okay, but the writing's good, so that's just kept me going. But it doesn't work the other way around for me. I've played games that have amazing battle systems and really fun mechanics, but the stories have been mediocre, and I've just given up because that isn't enough for me. Good mechanics don't keep me hooked long enough. But that's just me personally. I know that other people are different, but that's me. I'm definitely hooked by a story when it comes to game and good writing. New story for me to read for sure. Yes, don't worry, not a massive spoiler. I've watched the first few episodes. It is good. Yeah, don't worry. It sounds like it's not that big a spoiler. It just sounds like a silly, amusing thing. But it sounds good. A hedgehog guy that hooks up with I'm fond of that kind of thing, you know, sort of relationships between different races and species. I mean, in our game, I don't know if you know, guys, if you've been on the website, where are we? If you've seen these barrels, they're not all barrels because we got a box and a cookie jar here, but they're very key to the main story. But you You won't find out much about them until I release the next story so far video. But Carol has been talked about in the first video, because she's literally the first character that speaks in the entire game that you meet. She's like, in my opinion, she's the real protagonist of our game. We do have a hero that is actually the protagonist, but he's just a blank slate that you build and make, build the moral compass of as you play. But Carol is really the character. And she's romanceable. You, as a human, can romance a barrel. That's what our game's like. So I'll totally be for silly things like, hedgehogs and all sorts of wacky plots. Raindrop Chronicles is a humorous game. It's definitely got a humorous edge to it, but I also want it to have meaning and bring up themes that are really fascinating. That's kind of a goal for me. And I think there's like a really cool potential existential crisis plot that we could have with Carol, with her being somebody who isn't actually human. And also couldn't say that word properly. Haven't watched The Witcher show either yet. Afraid to be disappointed. Moonshadow's the same as me. That's why we're twins, is Moon, because we literally think so alike. And yeah, I am sure it's good. I mean, I've heard that Henry, who plays Geralt, is very passionate about The Witcher and loves it. He's read all the books and stuff. So I have no doubt he'd play the part well. But I'm still scared because it's just like the game is like perfect. To me, it's flawless. So the Netflix series has to be flawless too if it's going to, match what my expectations. Dandelion is grey. Yeah, he's funny. I heard they changed his name in the Netflix show. As a fan of the Witcher books and games, it's worth it. Oh, really, Master Emerald? Yeah, I trust Master Emerald as well, because Master Emerald has seemed like someone that has super good taste. So, if Master Emerald says so. I'm 100% with you on that story-driven gamer myself. Yay, I'm glad I'll go. Really, honestly, guys, I think that's who my dream community are. People who appreciate a story and play games for story. I mean, I'm not saying that those of you that prefer games that with other things wouldn't fit here. If you enjoy it here, then lovely. But I think all in all, that is kind of my vision with this. It's all about building a story in a world. So you're going to connect more with what we do here if you do enjoy story-driven games. Witcher Worlds is my favourite fantasy world, right up there with Lord of the Rings world, but the Witcher edges over it because it's more down-to-earth, more political and gritty world rather than an epic fantasy where the whole world is at stake. Yeah, I kind of agree with that Forgotten Crusader because there's just something about it. Like, I can't even put my finger on what makes The Witcher so special, but when I played the game, I was just really immersed in the entire setting and fantasy world. And I think that's what it is. It's quite grounded and gritty, and you don't really see that as often as we probably should in fantasy. It's usually the epic fantasy. I have heard nothing but great things about the Witcher series though. Yeah, I recommend it, guys. If you ever get a bit of time, if any of you here haven't played it before, the actual game that is, and you get time, that's what the first one you should play if you like RPGs. I know that it can be daunting because it's such a long game. Like, it took me about 200 hours to 100% because I 100%ed it because I'm a nerd and I loved it so much. So it did take me about 200 hours. But if you just want to play it normally, it'll probably take you about 100 or 80 hours. Phoenix, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Carol's eyebrows are on point. Alice, this is why you're my friend, because you know what is good, and the eyebrows are literally literally what makes Carol. Well, that's a lie. Carol's good for many reasons, but the eyebrows are definitely what draw you to her. That's for sure. And that sounds different and unique. I love it. Yorkshire, how are you doing? Did I say hi? Can't remember if I did or not. Are you working on other projects then this game? No, I'm not, World of Jimmy. And honestly, I couldn't, because as soon as I'd start working on other projects, I wouldn't be putting the work into this, and I'd start slacking. And this is my priority right now. So for sure. And I definitely I've had ideas. I've had some really interesting ideas for other games I'd like to make in the future, but they're shelved because this is what I'm doing. But the good thing about ideas is they're always there, so I can revisit them in the future, whenever the time comes. Rex hasn't played Witcher 3, has he? He hasn't, Guy. Can you guys try and get him to? Because he seems to really respect you guys, so we might listen to you. Not that he wouldn't listen to me, but I feel like I've been trying to sneakily get him to play The Witcher 3 for ages, but it's not worked. So maybe if you guys say a few things, he'll start playing it then. Maybe. So you're not a speedrunner? No, I'm the opposite of a speedrunner, guys. The actual opposite. I'm one of these people that are very slow with games. I literally have to explore every inch of map. I just really like doing that. I like seeing absolutely everything I can and take it at a really slow pace. And in all honesty, that's kind of why I stopped streaming games, because I get backseaters and people that would I kind of felt a bit judged for being a slow gamer, and that's never a good feeling. Whereas when I'm in my own room, I can just sit there and do what I want. Dandelion's name is just the name from the original language instead. Confused me for a moment. Oh, really? This is going to be a turn-based RPG, right? It is, Argo. It's keeping with the traditional retro JRPG style, because that's kind of how RPG Maker is by default. It's your traditional Final Fantasy turn-based style game. And yeah, there's always the option to change things up a bit with plugins. And I do believe there are some action battle plugins in RPG Maker for those people that desire a more action battle system, but it is a bit risky to go with those plugins, because if the developer ever stopped working on those plugins, there's a risk that the plugin could break and stuff. So I wouldn't have been personally willing to take that risk, but all in all, I'm all for the turn-based, and I kind of wanted to go for a turn-based game with this. So let's catch up with chat. I'm so sorry I'm slow, guys. I have to say I'm behind my chat, but I want you to know I love it. I love it when we have these chat types of days, because I just want you to know, before I carry on catching up with chat, that never feel bad that I'm not doing the work. Don't feel bad that I'm not meeting the targets for today, because that's why I have the days off, so I can do those things. So whatever I don't do today on stream, I'm going to do off stream, and I'll show you on Wednesday anyway, because I see this as community time. So Paul is trying to catch my chat. Yeah, exactly. So just because I had someone message me once, DM me, saying that they were lurking in stream and they didn't speak because they felt they didn't want to interrupt me while I was doing work. And I wanted to make that clear that, don't feel bad about that, because it's not all about doing work. If it was about doing work, I wouldn't be streaming. I'd just do it in my room without broadcasting it, I want to stream Witcher on Guy's channel. Do you? You should do it. You should do that. Come on, Rex, play Witcher 3. I haven't played it yet either. If you play it, I'll play it. Poor Rex doesn't know that we're talking about him. Has no idea. I mean, he's lurking, but he's at work, so he probably has no clue. We'll get him to stream it. That would be my dream, Alice, if he one day just said, by the way, guys, I'm going to be streaming Witcher 3 now. Like, I'd scream in joy. Because that's my game. I want to see it. But I don't want to pressure him because I think he thinks it's a bit daunting to play it because it's such a long RPG. But that'd be what I'd like. I love that. I've been writing down video game ideas since 2002, actually, since I can't draw or actually program. So just been putting down ideas and even started afresh a few times too. Yeah, and exactly. Like you say, you can't program, and I can't either. Like, I just learn as I go, you know. There's challenges and sometimes it's out my comfort zone, and I try my best to do it, and usually I end up doing it, but I'm definitely no pro. And this is why RPG Maker's great. I feel like if you're not a coder, Phoenix or anyone like that, if you're not a coder, then it's definitely the software to go for if you do have an interest in making a game, specifically an RPG. I mean, if you want to make other genres, RPG Maker probably isn't the engine, but definitely if it's RPGs. Do you have any tips if someone would want to start making games? I say just go for it. Download RPG Maker and just mess about. It's all about experimentation. Witcher 3 is a game everyone should play at some point. It might not be some people's type of genre, still worth playing though. Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's no one I've met that has told me or said that Witcher 3 is a bad game. Not one single person has said, oh, I didn't like that Witcher 3. Like, I've never heard anyone. I find it hard to believe someone would dislike it because it's just brilliant. So I would say that because I'm biased. And some people have complained about the combat and said, oh, the combat's just nothing groundbreaking, and fair enough, it probably isn't. But that's not what the point. Like Witcher 3, it's not about the combat, it's about the world and how frigging immersive it is and what good story it is. I'm super slow gamer too, lol. Everyone talked about how short Resident Evil 3 was, but it took me like 13 hours to beat, and everyone says it was only typically like 5 hours. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I say get out as much hours as you can in a game. 5 hours is not nothing. So that's another reason why being a slow gamer is good, because you can just get more play time out of it. When I play open world games, I have to finish every side quest. Can't finish it if I don't, lol. See, that's what I did with Witcher 3. I literally did every single side quest. And you know those question marks on the maps in The Witcher 3? I had to get them all. And that's pretty crazy because there was a lot of question marks. Maybe for your birthday, haha. My birthday is soon. Well, my birthday's next month, haha. Not like I can do anything awesome, really, with the quarantine. But, you know, I've got you guys. Yeah, we get Rex to play Witcher 3 in Lost Odyssey, and when that happens, I'll be a happy camper. Yeah, it's more likely going to be Witcher 3 than Lost Odyssey, simply because Lost Odyssey is not on PC, which is just tragic. Come on, Steam. Release it. Well, yeah, I don't have the time to tackle the big RPGs, unfortunately, right now, but I hope to make more time for them in the future. Yeah, exactly. It's the time, isn't it? It's the time with them. They're very, very time consuming. Luckily, when I did play The Witcher 3, I did have more time on my hands then. I was in a period where there was nothing really happening, so I had all the time in the world to... I finished it in a month. I literally played all of the game and the DLCs in a month and 100%ed it. Well, not quite, because I had to do Death March after, because I played it on, I think it was either the second or third difficulty on my third playthrough, but I played it on Death March on my second playthrough, and then I got all the achievements. Another series I want to tackle is the Trials of Cold Steel. Oh, cool. There's another one called Trials that I've heard of, but it's not Cold Steel, I don't think. But yeah, there's so many good games out there. Anyone who complains about combat in Switch 3 needs to remember how it was in the first game. That combat was the most awkward. Oh yeah, the first Witcher, you mean, Master Emerald. See, I never played the first Witcher because I heard that it's very dated now. And the good thing about Witcher 3 is you don't have to play the first two because it's a separate story and complete new adventure, so you're not going to be that confused. I wasn't confused. I got it perfectly, and I didn't play either of the first two. But for something like Mass Effect, you need to play it from Mass Effect 1 because it's a continuation. We had an Animal Crossing party for a friend for her birthday. I want an Animal Crossing party for my birthday now. That would be awesome. That sounds like a sweet idea. I'm stealing your friend's idea. Or your idea even. Yeah, I got them all too and collected all the Gwent cards too. Yeah, so did I. Gwent was addicting. It's amazing. A lot of streamers recommended for Witcher 1 is to play on easy. Oh yeah. Usually I do play stuff on easy. If it's out my comfort zone anyway. If it's more action based, I kind of get tempted to play it on easy. Because I'm not amazing at action based games, but then again I have completed Dark Souls, so not bragging or anything, but I can't be that bad. I can be harsh on myself about my skills sometimes, but I completed Dark Souls. Right, so we filled in the bio. Now what's David's goal? To be remembered is David's goal. That's a good goal. Let's get Photoshop up so you guys can see. Yeah, there's a ton of goals. If you guys have peeked at the character forms, you'll see the list of goals you can choose from if you are an ally. You know, if you're an ally or a hero, there's quite a choice. Mine is to belong. Okay, so sprite time. We only need the middle ones. Always play on normal because I'm afraid to miss a secret ending. Oh really? Some games have secret endings on normal but not on easy. How dare they? I have the in real life Gwent cards but no one to play with. Oh really? You have in real life ones? That's so cool. But yeah, that's the problem, isn't it, with physical card games? I'd struggle to, and that's why I only play Gwent on GOG. I do play Gwent sometimes. It's been a few months since I last played it, but it is a fun one. It is a fun one. Are the Dark Souls games good? I enjoyed streaming them. I don't know whether it would have been the same if I was playing them off stream. I might have given up, in all honesty, because they are quite hard, but they were very entertaining to stream. People in chat genuinely have a blast at seeing a streamer attempt Dark Souls, so I think that helped a lot. But they are good games. They are definitely good games. Some really cool looking bosses and areas, but they are very hard. Yeah, I think he's in place there. I've seen your last YouTube video, miss. Yeah, you've watched the new one. Oh, thanks, guys. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up for me, folks, because I've got that hater back out there again, giving me the thumbs down. There's someone out there that doesn't like me very much, it appears, because whenever I release like a YouTube video, not every YouTube video, but a special YouTube video, whenever I release a special one, they tend to give me the thumbs down like within an hour of it being up, so they're clearly like keeping an eye on my stuff. But in all honesty, have you guys give me the thumbs up makes that thumbs down meaningless, so I appreciate anyone that gives me the thumbs up on there. I played the first Witcher games after 3, and for some reason I enjoyed 1 more than 2 actually. I don't know, the world on 1 clicked with me more. Oh really? Yeah, I wouldn't be able to say because I didn't play 1 or 2. 2 is definitely probably a bit more modern, but yeah, it's very hard for me to have an opinion on that, seeing as I've not played it. But that's awesome that you enjoyed it. It's nice to hear that it was appreciated. Do people pick their weapon on the character sheet, or is it something later? The weapon tends to, honestly, come with whatever the class is. And I think that's something we'd probably decide as a community. Like, for example, if, say, someone picks Pyromancer, we'd sit here when the Pyromancer comes into the game and we start their skill tree, we'll be like, okay guys, so what weapons would a Pyromancer potentially use? And we'd make a list and we'd probably either do a poll or pick the one that we like the most and go with it. And I think that's just to make sure we keep things going too off track, because we don't say want someone to pick a class and then pick a weapon that's literally never like nothing like the class, or you know the weapon might have already been used or taken by a current playable character that's already been made. So for that reason I haven't put weapon as a choice. But yeah, the weapons will be unique to each playable character depending on their class, and every playable character will have their own unique weapon, and it'll be cool to like make it link and relate to what the class is. And there's room to get super creative with weapons. You don't even have to be super traditional about it, especially there's some quirky classes out there like Diplomat, for example. First thought for me for Diplomat was a book, but you know, there could be other ideas too. The Diplomat hasn't come into the game yet, so there's still room for discussion for things like that. I really like seeing the process of overlaying the characters. The last one has a little lizard tail poking out of her butt, and this one, the cool old man, had pretty fairy wings. Oh really? She's still got... Did I let me get Fantasia back. I'm paranoid now. You said she had a lizard tail poking out, that I forgot to delete Rex's character underneath. Where is it? But yeah, I didn't really check it over for typos, so but she seems fine. Phew. I was like, lizard tail? Where? But she's fine. Maybe I misunderstood what you said and you meant something else. And this one, the cool old man had pretty fairy. Yeah, you meant as you were joking. I get it now. You meant for when I left the layer there. I see. I took it seriously. I literally took it serious. I was like, oh no, have I left it there? And I was all paranoid. But I get it now. She's perfect. I'm sorry. Now you're forgiven. I get it's funny now. I'm just like that, guys. I can take things very literally. So yeah. Which Dark Souls you found more difficult? For me, it was 2. I never actually played 2. I played 1, 3, and Bloodborne. 2. I heard mixed reviews with that, and it's unfortunate because maybe that stopped me from giving it a try, but I feel like I still should play it one day, you know, because I might actually like it. But I found Dark Souls 1 the hardest out of all the 3 I played. Out of Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1, I found Dark Souls 1 definitely the hardest. It just, the level design was also harder to get through as well. It was just more of a challenge, some of the places and enemies. I remember breezing through Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, to be honest. I don't remember finding them as difficult, but I had some real problems with Dark Souls 1. Okay, so now it's personality. Who could dislike you? I know, right, Alice Cat? I know, right? How dare they? But everybody has enemies. You know, sometimes that's the nature of being a person online. You're going to get some people that don't like you for whatever reason. That is either because they are jealous that you're doing something they can't do, or jealous because they couldn't go on a date with you because you rejected them because you got another boyfriend. Things like that. Just little silly things like that. Well, what, that sucks. You do a great job. Oh, thank you for gone. Now, honestly, I have my theories. There's one person that in particular didn't like me because I didn't go out with them. And they blocked me and stuff. So my theory is it's them. But, you know, what can you do? Like, what can you do? You can't control people and how they feel, I guess. I'm just getting on with my thing. It was only for a brief moment, even considering the Fishman village. A Fishman village? Now I want fish race. Hey Rose, hi Wes, how you doing? It's good to see you. Bloodborne's lore is so good. I love the Lovecraftian thing. Oh yeah, I love the whole Victorian style, and it is so dapper. Like, my character looked really cool in that game, I have to say. Definitely visually, and the setting of Bloodborne is best. But the Dark Souls series had some really good bosses as well, and moments. Yeah, it's impossible to make everyone happy, that's for sure. And you'll drive yourself crazy trying, so you kind of gotta just let it go, I guess, to stay sane. And focus on the people that are positive. Okie doke, so let's fill in David's information then. Okay, so he's melancholy. Oh wow, that one. I think it's because I put the A and the P really close together. So that's why there's not much space, but that's better now. It was squashed before. Optimistic. So like these profile things is like a guide, you know, and of course the character might change over the course of this story, and things might happen that make them kind of go off track with the personality sometimes, but I think this is a good starting point. It's always good to like have a sort of idea of who the character is, because it stops everyone being too samey then, because you're at risk of every character seeming like a cardboard cutout copy of each other. Controlled, reckless. Gotta work now, so I'm gonna just lurk in the background. Hope everything goes well. Oh, thank you so much, Argo, for hanging out, and thank you again for those generous bitties. That's very kind of you, and I appreciate the support. So enjoy your lurk and have an awesome rest of your day. Yay, you guys both have over 50 raindrops now. They do rack up for sure. over time. One-tenth of the way there already. Awesome. Yes. And considering I'm going to be here working on this project on Twitch until I'm an old lady, you've got all the time in the world. Well, I'll be here. I honestly would be here until Twitch, as long as Twitch still exists. You know, I do want to be an old lady making games still. I think that would be pretty cool. If I was like 70 and just, you know, geeking out with RPGs, I certainly would not complain if that was my life. In fact, I'd be more than satisfied. By the way, you said you wanted to make the pig mask cute. It will be hard to beat the character if he is wearing a cute pig mask. Yeah, it's an interesting one because obviously the guy that wears the pig mask is an antagonist. So of course the obvious route would be to make the mask a really scary looking, intimidating pig. And I might still kind of do that. I kind of want to get a balance between intimidating and cute and charming. It's a hard one, but that's kind of what I'm visioning. Like, I have this image in mind of what I want to go for. So it's not going to like be super cute like Pikachu or anything, because I think that would be too jarring. But you know, that could actually be interesting, you know. Someone with an absolutely adorable mask that's a villain. I guess it you know, it depends, you know, what route's best to go with visually. I'm going to experiment anyway and see what we get. Because all I know is I wasn't satisfied by the assets that I found. And I thought that, yeah, I can do something better. That's all I know. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to just double check I've filled in the right ones. Melancholy, optimistic, honest, controlled, reckless, open-minded, reserved, and traditional. Cool. So on average, honestly, like, I have not been doing much this stream in terms of work, but I can notice the difference of how much faster I'm doing the character sheets, even so, since changing the template and putting it in Photoshop instead. Oh, thank you so much, Mine, for the follow. I appreciate that. I'll call you Mine for short. I appreciate that follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I want to costume all these characters. I want to do a cosplay of Carol the Barrel. I really want to, but I just wouldn't know where to start. Like, how would I make a barrel? I'm no good at crafting, so unfortunately I won't be able to do something too ambitious. But I do have a dream to actually sit here and stream as Carol. Looks like a good project. Thank you, Mine. I appreciate that. If you've got any questions at all, feel free to ask. It's good to have you here, though. Thanks for clicking on the stream and stopping by. We're doing some character sheets today. We kind of vary things up a lot here. The week before last, we were doing lots of scene work, and before that, we did dialogue. And next week we'll be moving on to the battle stuff for our first boss of the game. So things kind of change week by week here, because that keeps things exciting for me as well. So sometimes, well, we got our Trello page here. So we've honestly got a schedule of everything that's to be done in the next 3 months here, which helps. It helps me stay on track, but at the same time I don't get too rigid about it either, because Sometimes, you know, it can be hard to get everything finished, but we'll see. Maybe we find out he's misunderstood for some reason down the line. Yeah, and that's the interesting thing, because although Neffels created him and has given us a sort of template to go on with this pig, I'm calling him a pig and he's actually just a human wearing a pig mask. But it's funny because I'll literally see him as a full-on humanoid pig. I know I will. He's give us like this template, and we'll have a character sheet to go with this pig, but there's still going to be so much room for development for what we can do with him ourselves, you know. And it's same goes for the rest of the community characters. Like, you guys will give a character sheet and like a starting point for us, but we'll be able to like go crazy with them if we wish. But you do have freedom with certain things. Like, if you're like, yeah, they have to be this way no matter what, I'll totally be loyal to that. But if you leave things open-ended and you don't mind leaving things open-ended, then we can go crazy as we want. Did you play Death Stranding? What upcoming game are you looking forward to? I never played that one, Forgotten, but I think it'd be one that I'd like. I just never got around to giving it a go, but yes, it's definitely one I've kept my eye on. And what upcoming game am I looking forward to? That will have to be Cyberpunk 2077. That's the only one actually that springs to mind, because it's by the devs who made The Witcher 3, so for that reason alone I'm like, yes, because The Witcher 3 is my favourite game. So I'm confident that this will be a good one too, even though it's an entirely different setting, and I have faith in the devs. He's a swine. Cook him in a bowl of hot soup and noodles. Hi, Big. Yes, well, that's the thing. It's going to be really cool, because some people might feel sorry for the pig antagonist and others will just want him dead. And Raindrop Chronicles will have choices. I really want to talk about this more on the website as well, because it doesn't say enough that it is a game built on choices. And your custom hero that you make at the start of the game will be shaped on the actions you take in the game. And I'm going to try my best to make the world shape around you, because there's too many games out there that have choices but not real consequences. It's just an illusion. But with our game, I really want to try and actually do that properly and kind of have things actually change around you. Big Black Houdonna. Is the mask made of real pig face? See, that's another interesting thing, because Neffel in the character sheet hasn't actually stated the material it's made from. All we know is that it's a pig mask. So we've got flexibility in what it actually is, what the pig mask is made from. And honestly, what I'm probably going to just do is make a face of a pig, an asset, and I guess we'll just see what material it looks like it is. But you know, it's an interesting one. There's a possibility that I might make a few variations of the face asset, and if I do, I might put up a poll for opinions to see what gets the most votes, what version of the pig mask is the most liked, because there's different styles that we could go with here. Like we say, we could go with a full-on evil looking antagonist pig, or we could twist it and make it actually a cute pig that's an antagonist to subvert expectations. But I guess we'll see where it goes when I make the assets off stream. But I'm hoping I'll have something to show you by Friday's stream with that asset, because I want to work on the second half of the character sheets on Friday too. But we still got to finish these other ones too. When Keanu Reeves appeared in last year's E3 was so cool. Yeah, and Keanu Reeves is like an absolute hero and everybody loves him, so they couldn't have picked anyone better. Is there somewhere we can see the progress so far? Good question as well. In all honesty, at the moment, while we don't have any playable build, the best place to be is YouTube, because we've got the whole archive there, every single stream from the first one to now. The Story So Far series, lore discussion, and sneak peeks are going to get posted on there too. And we don't have many at the moment. We've only got the custom hero sneak peek right now. But over time, as we're happy with the scenes and how they look, and maybe some of the battles, they will be shown on sneak peeks too. But there is a goal I'm aiming for. Let me just get it up. For a first playable build in the summer, June, July at the moment. I mean, it might get extended to August if we get held up, but the summer is basically an aim, even though it's a little bit difficult to put a month down right now, because all the tasks that we've got for the next few months will be all about tidying things up, ready for that build. And then in July, it's more about doing new things, like starting the next main quest, thinking about side quests and the characters and the world building of our first village. But before we begin all this stuff in July, I really would love to get everything tidied up that's been done so far, because then once that's done, I can actually get a build there ready and prepared. So yeah. I always love when the bad guy has legitimate reasons for doing what he's doing, and not just because he's bad. Yeah, Forgotten, exactly the same with me, with how I feel about villains. And I honestly want to try and do that with our antagonists here in Raindrop Chronicles too, if we can, like, really dig deep into them. When they eventually come into the game, to like really develop them and spend like a week of streams just really getting into a character. The most best and recent example I can think of of a villain that does that is the villain in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, because they really, honestly, I'm not going to give spoilers because some people might have not played that expansion yet and might be intending to. So I'm not going to give spoilers, but all I'm going to say is that they really make you sympathise and understand why that villain is doing what he's doing. And that is good writing. I was really impressed. I can't believe we're already, I know, it's crazy. Like, I remember when Rex came and visited me for Christmas, and I can't believe that's already like nearly been half a year. Insane. Okay, so we filled that in, so we're on the questions part now. So David's biggest flaw is being emotionally exhausted. Now, what was his faction type? Okay. To be honest, I'm very tempted to put that bit about him being a former member of the military who was retired to a nearby mountain in this bit here. Anything else you would like to tell us? Because it's more relevant, I think, and we can actually remove that question then, because he doesn't really feel like he applies to any of the factions that were there. But let's get the rest in first. Oh, Paladin is old and knows that he's going to die soon. That's sad. Don't want him to. So this is interesting. When you think about the deaths, like, you know, that's going to be hard to do when we get attached to characters. Can February, March, but no April, May. Same, haha. It's insane. It's going to be, to be honest, I want 2020 to be over, in all honesty, as fast as possible. I think we all probably want that, really. Thank you for a follow, Ike. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Okay, so what is your deepest, darkest secret? Okay, so David's character sheet is actually a bit more on the thick side, which is always interesting when a character's got a lot to say about themselves. So we will have to make it longer because we're not going to be fitting it all in here. So we're only on our second character sheet, guys. So we still got over an hour of stream, so we've got plenty of time to get more done. But if I feel like I want to like do a few more off stream, I might do, just to make up for the slowness. But I will be prioritising Neffle's pig mask above all else, because assets and getting them done first is most important. Okay, so we're gonna have to get more background down, and we do have like a pattern on our background. It's kind of a two colour blue, dark, very, very, very deep blue. This makes it a little bit more pretty. I can't see where. There we go. Because you've got to be careful when copying the background, because things like this can happen where you get double pixels. So I'm trying to make sure I avoid that. So that does fix it. So that's all good now. We've got the more background. Paladin only picked up blacksmithing after the love of his life passed away. She was a blacksmith before him, and he used to love to sit and watch her work. She forged the full plate armour that he still wears to this day, and it's still a little banged up because he refuses to do any work on it, feeling it will tarnish her legacy. Dave is really good at creating characters because he's like a D&D master as well. And in all honesty, this project does take quite a bit of inspiration from D&D, I suppose. With the whole way we kind of improvise things. And I was looking at some D&D tables the other day, and I was thinking, oh, could use some of these for Raindrop Chronicles sometimes. Have you ever LARPed? I haven't. I'm a very like D&D noob. I'm actually doing a campaign at the moment. I'm playing in one, but it's my first ever one. I really like it though. It's lots of fun. So yeah, it's always fun to escape the real world. Have you, Alice? Have you LARPed or played D&D? Yeah, my raindrops is increasing. Yay. When did you start making this game? Well, I've been streaming it for just over a year. But I did like come up with the idea a little bit before then. At the end of 2018, I came up with the idea to make a game in RPG Maker, but it took a few months for things to really, for me to like get the courage to actually start, and I'm glad I did. Hi Rex, how you doing? We just started our proper D&D campaign with friends. Oh really? What character do you have? I have an orange-haired tiefling bard. That's mine. Closest I've ever gotten to D&D is CR. What's CR? I mean, I feel like a massive noob asking that. It's going to be something really obvious, isn't it? But it's her first time being a dungeon master, so it's all running a bit slow. Oh, really? That's awesome, though. It must feel super cool to actually take that step of being a DM. You gotta be brave. I went LARPing last August for the first time and it was so much fun. Oh really? That's so cool. I'd like to cosplay as my tiefling, but honestly, like I say, I'm crafting and making things with my hands isn't really a talent of mine. And when I have done cosplay, I've had to actually buy the things, and it can get very expensive then. Critical Role. Oh, see, I'm silly. I knew it was something obvious. Critical Role is like the most, like, it's an online D&D show, isn't it? And everybody who loves D&D basically watches it. But yeah, I've heard that it's lots of fun. I just don't get the time to watch it because, like I say, I barely get any time. Guy is a tiefling and I'm a ginger halfling. Oh, awesome. It's like I'm a bit of both of you. I've got the ginger hair and I'm a tiefling. Tieflings are cool. I want to do a cosplay of Rose. You should do one. Go on, buy a long dark-haired wig, Rex. I bet no one would be able to tell the difference. Maybe we'll have to join forces sometimes. I'm a costume designer. Oh, really? That's awesome. Well, you'd be like, that'd be your thing then, cosplay and making things and dress up. I'm almost quite jelly. Well, that's a really good talent to have, and I've always believed everybody's got a creative talent locked in them somewhere. I'm telling your work on you. Yeah, CR for the win in my opinion, but that's on the shelf now while the world is on its way, unfortunately. Oh yeah, is it being cancelled as well? Damn it. Shut up, I finish in half an hour. Well, Rex, you can't talk because you were always in streams when you used to work at your job. So, you can't talk, mister. Tiefling. Is that how I said it? My accent can say words in a quite strange way sometimes. Cosplay is a lot of pressure. You have to have everything exactly like the character or people get mad. Oh no, it's such a pain in the butt, isn't it, when you're a creative person and you have the confidence to put something out there to show people and they complain. It's like, it's only because they couldn't do it themselves. That's honestly how I feel. They're just like grown like stinky men in their mother's basements that just want to like complain at everything because they're miserable in their own lives. That's basically it. Well, I'm still working at that job and doing so right now. Please don't tell on me. Well, you've been a good boy lately. You've been a super good boy. You do all your work now. I won't tell on you. I mostly work on corsetry and fantasy stuff, collabs with photographers and models, alternative weddings, that sort of thing. That sounds really awesome. So that's your creative thing then, Alice, doing that sort of stuff. I'd love to see some of the stuff. Well, we won't tell on you, Rex. If you play Witcher 3, then we won't tell on you. Oh, Moon has revealed it all, and I've got a confession to make. We were talking about you, Rex. We spent like a good 20 minutes just talking about you today. I'm going to be honest, we were talking about getting you to stream certain games and, you know, what we'd like to see you stream and that sort of thing, weren't we, chat? Hey, I've always done my work. Well, I believe you. I believe you. I know you wouldn't be a rebel. I've never had comments on inaccuracies in my local cons for my cosplays, but I know they happen. My general rule is if I hear it, I tell them off. Yeah, you tell them off, Master Emerald. That's what I like to hear. Do not let people say crap about you. I also have a boring desk job at a law firm. Yes, we've been scheming. Yes, we've been scheming. Me and Alice we've bonded already, haven't we, Alice? Also have a boring desk job. Yeah, that can be difficult, you know, because I know the field. I used to work in an office and I didn't enjoy what I did, so eventually I got to a point where I thought, I'm going to just save up, I'm going to save my wages and I'm going to leave. I'm going to hand in my notice and I'm going to do creative stuff working from home and live off my savings. And look, I'm just living at home with my parents at the moment, so I'm kind of like in a position where I'm not going to struggle and I'm not kind of forced to pay bills right now. So I'm in a sort of stable position right now, but obviously I'm stuck because I'm stuck living with my parents until I finally get rich. But I'm kind of happy right now doing this. But yeah, like I said in my video that I released a few days ago on YouTube, that's unfortunately, it might not last forever. It probably won't last forever because I'll eventually want my own place. I want my own place, that's for sure, with Rex. So I'm going to make the most of doing what I'm doing while I can. And I mean, yeah, I'd love this to be my full-time job, but it's not going to happen right now. Let's be realistic. But that would be great if it did. But like I say, if I worked, might have to happen. This project would still go on. Scheduled would just change slightly. You were talking about me behind my back, yeah. You'd have to look at the VOD if you're curious. Who knows what we were saying? Yay, Jess jobs, yeah. I just got, you know, it's a bit soul destroying and stuff to have to work a desk job when it's something you don't like. But, you know, you need to pay the bills sometimes. Some people don't have a choice. And you have to pay those bills. But if you can squeeze any free time you can in your free hours working on your creative dreams, who knows where that'll lead. Do you allow links? I can send you a link to my costumes. Yeah, sure. I'm fine allowing links if I trust the person posting the link and I trust you, so feel free to post. You have to do what is best for yourself. Keep healthy and happy. Yeah, exactly. Would he move to UK or you to go to the States? We're sort of being like, we kind of don't want to limit ourselves because we just want to be together, in all honesty. So wherever the opportunity is easiest, we will take that. Fantasia, thank you for the host. I appreciate that. How are you doing? It's so good to see you. We've done your character sheet, Fantasia, by the way. We're on Davis now. And we did yours a bit earlier in the stream, and it's going to get posted up on the Twitter later today because I'm going to be putting them all up gradually. I don't want to spam people's timelines on Twitter, so I'll probably put one up a day or two up a day at most. But yours will be going up first because you were first on the list, Fantasia. Paladian is such an awesome character, and that was in just 2 paragraphs. I know, National Mars. He's like, I mean, this is a character sheet. This is an example of a character sheet that is reasonably long but not ridiculously long. This is a good sized character sheet. You know, you've summarised your character up, but and he feels like, you know, he's developed just from that already. And like I say, Daver is a D&D master. Daver is, so he knows how to create characters, so it doesn't surprise me. But we will have to change this into first person, because all character sheets are written in first person. So let's do that. So my time in the sun has ended. It's really easy. You got to just change it all to I's and my's. I keep getting these weird burps. I don't know why, because it doesn't happen when I'm not streaming, only when I am streaming. You can send the link, I'll allow it. Yes, Rex is the mod. He has the say as well. I feel like you're tricking me and you'll ban me. Okay, I'll definitely have a look. I'll send you a follow on there, Alice. Thank you for the link. Your stuff looks awesome. Oh, thanks. I'm gonna have just a little look right now. Oh yeah, so that costume is all made by all of these costumes. I've just clicked one random one here. Have a look. Let's get it up. Did you do all this yourself? It's really pretty. I'll be commissioning you to make me a barrel costume. It's not as pretty as these dresses, but because I want to be Carol the Barrel, guys. I want to cosplay Carol the Barrel. That's my #1 cosplay. Stream burps. Okay, so my time as sun has ended. My goal now is to aid the next generation of heroes with guidance, advice, and equipment that I produce from my forge on the mountain if they prove themselves worthy. Okay, I think that we can put that next bit on that line now. Yeah, on my same, but I don't take the photos. They're mostly by photographers I've worked with. Oh, cool. Well, that's awesome that you've got awesome photographer friends to collaborate with to show off those awesome dresses. I would 1000% love to make a barrel. Yeah, one day it'll have to happen. That's for sure. This is one of my favourite FF songs. Which one is it? I can't tell which one this is. I feel silly now because I'm meant to know them all. I can barely hear it though through my earphones because I'll have to put them on properly. What is it, Rex? I've turned into a Final Fantasy noob. I'm ashamed. Oh, that explains it. I'm not as good with the Final Fantasies before 7. I'll confess. Guys. Rose's theme or something like that, it just switched. I know why you like it, because it's got my name in the song. That's why. Haven't played any of them. Oh, haven't you? You've not played any of the Final Fantasies? What's your favourite game then, Alice? Like, what would you say is your game or franchise? Right. Also, I says I was going to move that here. I'll do that after. Being forgotten. I am old and know that I'm old and know that I'm going to die relatively soon. If anyone came in chat right now or stream, they'd be like, what? Rosie's gonna die soon. I wouldn't realise I was reading this. Sorry guys. Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm old and I'm gonna die relatively soon. But I don't want to die for nothing in a corner somewhere. Very admirable, Dava. Very admirable character. Legmark, how are you doing? Look at Fantasia there being cute with the email. Legmark, I've sent you a DM, Legmark, of Poppy paper cuts. So let me know if you're happy with how she looks and we can get you put in the stream avatars, Legmark. Because then we'll have double Rose on the screen. Poppy looks very similar to Rose. So we'll have Legmark will be the copycat walking across. Could have these videos on loop for Oh, you've been watching Rosie's Real Talk series? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching that. And I also appreciate if you give me, if I'm going to be cheeky here, if you give me a thumbs up, guys, on the videos to say ha to the hater. If you keep giving me a thumbs down an hour after I've released them. So I appreciate you watching them. I honestly kind of want to do them more often, and I know I've released 2 pretty close together, but I probably won't be able to keep up with a schedule that regular where it's 2 a week. Definitely not with this project, but I definitely want to at least do them regularly or now and again, because I think I just enjoy like letting you guys get to know me a bit better as well in some shorter videos, because I mean we've got the VODs on YouTube of all the streams, but they're like 3 hours long, and you know some people might not want to sit through all of those. So I do love Witcher, Fallout New Vegas, anything open with a good story. You're very similar to me then, Alice, because Final Fantasy, I mean Final Fantasy's linear, so that kind of goes off the RPGs I've recently fallen in love with, like The Witcher 3, which are more open and choice-based. But yeah, Final Fantasy is just a very nostalgic thing for me, really, but they do tend to be a bit linear. And in all honesty, the old ones, I can forgive that because, you know, but the newer ones really should be more than just corridor simulators at this point. I think I'd like to see them be a little bit more open. It's a song whose beauty is only eclipsed by your beauty. Oh my goodness, what a flatterer. What a flatterer we have here. Ooh, I think Alice meant to put an A instead of an E there, because she thinks it's really sweet, really. Recently, I'm really enjoying Plague Tale. Oh, is that one that's like super depressing? I've heard that it's a depressing one. I don't mind depressing games at all. I've definitely played them. One of my favourite games is super depressing. Lost Odyssey. That is depressing. It is. But it's very heartwarming too. That was an epic compliment. High five, Saz. It was. Biggest fear, I'm old and know I'm going to die soon. Oh dear, poor man. He needs to cultivate a more glass half full attitude. Yeah, David definitely, his character isn't a half full guy. He's melancholy. He's all optimistic, but I suppose in his own way he does see himself as that, because He wants to make sure he's doing something. He knows he's going to die soon. That's a fact. But he's going to make sure he's going to make that time, you know, he's going to shine in those last years of his life. God, I feel sad. Poor Dave. Yes, my ultimate thing to say is more Rosie's Real Talk. Yay! I'm glad, Legmog. I want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake so much, but AC Origins is draining my time. I say you enjoy AC Origins, Fantasia. Nothing against Final Fantasy Remake. Honestly, people are loving it, and I think it's good points too. I just sort of had a few mixed feelings about it though, but I'm really happy that there's been lots of people that have enjoyed it. It's so dark and it's not open world. There isn't much choice, but the game mechanics are really interesting and the story is incredible, but so depressing. Have you cried, Alice? Have you cried? Slimy Snails, thank you for the follow. I like your name. I like snails. I think they're very underappreciated creatures. Hi future YouTube video watchers. And thank you for the comment on my video, Fantasia, as well today. Okay, so, right, where are we? So we're changing it all to first person at the moment because every single character sheet is written in first person. So don't worry if you do write your sheet in third person, that's fine. I'm not going to get mad at you. But it will get changed to first person for the character sheet. Not cried, but I have to take breaks and play AC instead. Oh yeah, Animal Crossing is so... It just makes you feel better, doesn't it? It's a lovely game. You should see Alice Snail then. What's Alice Snail? I don't understand. I don't get it. I only picked up blacksmithing after the love of my life passed away. She was a blacksmith before me, and I used to love to sit and watch her work. She forged the 4-player armour that I still wear to this day, and it's a little banged up because I refused to do any work on it, feeling that I tarnished her legacy. Okay, so I hope there's no typos there. I will read these off stream to make sure there's no typos before I actually post them on the Twitter, but sometimes that's hard to do on stream. You're welcome. Yay! It's in my Discord. Guys, I did it as an email and I'm feeling a lot of regrets. I don't think people will get it. Oh, really? Well, that's really a coincidence, isn't it, that a snail came in stream and I said I like snails, and turns out there's a bit of a joke that are going on this whole time. What? I think that was no coincidence. How are you doing though, slimy snails? I'm known to the local townsfolk who kindly referred to me as the old man of the mountain. Bards sing tales of passed on, and I'm the only one left from my old crew. Shouldn't that be past tense? Because they'd have sang tales when they were still alive. And I'm the only one left from our crew. I will admittedly refuse to join the hero on their quest. Insisting that my time in the sun is over, friend. It's your age now. Leave the past in the past. Awesome. So I'm paranoid there's typos there because there's a lot of changed, but I'll give it a proofread later. I'll say this, I'm not part of a faction. I'm a former member of the military who has retired to a nearby mountain. There we go. That just keeps it a little bit more on subject. Is that you, Green? How are you doing? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, Green. Welcome to the stream. I think the past tense is sung. Really? I always thought it was sang. I've never said sunged before. Is it different in UK and America, or am I don't know. I don't know. I will Google that one just to make sure, because obviously we don't want things to not be grammatically correct, because that would be bad. And yeah, sorry for not responding to you, Rose. Lockdown is literally starting to make my brain melt. But yes, I love your rendition of Poppy. Yes, I think this means we should get Legmog's character in-stream avatars, guys. So we're going to sidetrack a bit. Just temporarily to get Legmog's character in-stream avatars. So we'll get our Awesome Dave character out and use him as a template. It doesn't take long to do this at all, folks. So I literally just have to grab the assets we need for Poppy and put them in the right positions to get them working in the stream avatars. And yes, Poppy's great. Like, literally, she's Rose, except wearing green and green eyes instead of blue eyes. And she's just got a shorter haircut than Rose. But literally everything else is the same. And I did that on purpose because your character sheet made it clear that she is doing everything she can to look like Rose. But she's just like, in reality, just a cheap knockoff. And she can't live up to Rose's awesomeness. So there is a little bit of difference there. And I think the shorter hairdo helps distinguish them from each other a bit, because otherwise you'd be like, oh, okay, who's who? But yeah, people are still getting confused and not knowing who's the real Rose, and it's really affecting Rose's reputation, this Doppler taking her place and ruining her good name. I messaged you the slug snail on Discord. Oh, thank you, Alex. I'll look at that after. I appreciate it. You have my thumbs up to proceed. Thank you, Legmog. Appreciate that, Green. Welcome to stream. Rose is a poet and she didn't know it. Oh my gosh, I am. Hi, Green. I just started learning game making in school. I use Unity. What are you using? This, I have a command for you, Green. This is the program. There you go. So feel free to click on that link, Green, and you'll find out more about RPG Maker, because that's the engine we use. It's definitely not as advanced and as flexible as Unity. Unity is a really good one to learn for sure. So RPG Maker is a little bit more on the basic side, and it's a bit more easier and like for newbies to pick up. Unity is for the pros. Rex trolling. I'm hyped to see how Poppy gets used in Raindrop Chronicles. Such a cool storyline. It is. I'm a bit of a nerd, I'll admit, in that I'm a bit of a nerd for stories with doppelgangers, because I just think they're kind of creepy, and there's a lot of room for creativity and comedy and lots of all sorts of things. And The Witcher 3 had a lot of those kind of stories, and they made me laugh. They called them Dopplers in The Witcher 3, which is a good name for that. But yeah, it's fun. I like it. Finished work. Yay! I'm glad you finished work. I hope you have a super good evening. A super chill and relaxing evening. Awesome, thank you. You're welcome, Green. Okay, so I think everything's in position now. I'm going to just... Yep, everything's in position. So we'll get her saved. So Legmog is going to see himself walking across the screen in a minute. I hope you're ready for it, because we're gonna have like literally 2 Roses. Rose twins on the screen. It's going to be cool. It's going to be funny. Okay. We got to put it in a certain folder. I might have to open. Right, I'm going to have to close down stream avatars just for a second, guys. Because I need to put in Legmog's character. So I need to open a folder first. There we go. So I'm going to show you now, guys. I'm going to get... I'm going to get a screen display capture up for you so you can all see this stream avatars tool that we use. So all we have to do to get Legmog on the stream, and I did a bit of this in the last stream as well. I think we need to refresh. Because we put a lot of the other characters in last stream as well. The ones that were happy with how their character looked. I think we'll only have one more person then after Legmog, and then that's it. Right, so that, and we just have to add Legmog to here. Drum roll, yay! It's really cool seeing more characters walking across the screen now, though. I like it. Okay, so I need to look at the documentation now, because that's what's got the command. So I think that's done, so we can go back on it now. Get them back up. So bot commands, I think it's change. Okay, this should be it, because we got 2 Rexes on the screen right now. And that's what usually happens when someone's avatar hasn't been set up properly. But it'll be working now. There we go. You're there, Legmog. Look, we look so similar. The only difference is you don't have a scar. I wonder if Poppy's that, like... I wonder if she's that disturbed that she'd literally scar herself just to look like Rose. Imagine if she did that. That would be creepy. But she is a bit of a creepy one. She's an antagonist. And a little bit obsessed with Rose. Yay. We got it in now. Okay, so we can carry on from where we were now. So we'll cross that off. Okay, so he was filling in David's sheet. And I think that was all done, wasn't it? We just need to tidy it up now. And it says I'll proofread it off stream. So let's just get everything tidied up. I think that's okay. But yeah, we need to make a tiny bit more room. Is it creepy to be obsessed with Rose? Well, it depends, doesn't it? I guess consented is the word. If you've got a random creepy stalker and you haven't, like, you know, you've got no clue what's going on, then yeah, that's creepy. But if it's somebody who that person loves very much and they want them in their life, then no, that's not creepy. Okay, so that's cool. We just need a little bit more background because we made it bigger. I think that should be. That's perfect. Awesome. So I'm gonna save this one as a PNG and a PSD too. But yeah, I want to proofread it before it gets put on the Twitter. Because I'm pretty sure there's probably a couple of typos in there because I've not really properly looked. Right, so let's just go to our Trello page. Has that still got Alice's Instagram up? I think I'm obsessed with Rose too. Do you want to swap again? Guy, are you like me? Well, that's very nice. I always would like to make a good first impression. I mean, you can't please everyone, that's for sure. And I'm certainly not going to cry if someone comes in stream and he's like, no, bye. But yes, it's always it's nice to make a good first impression, especially when it's with when it's concerning a cool person. Okay, so no offense to Guy though. Well, next time Rex is in the UK, we'll have to do that double date. Okay, so yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, Legmog. So now Legmog's approved it and is on stream avatars. Yay! So we're doing good, guys. It's literally only Neffels now that does need to be finalised to be done. And as I said, I'll be working on that pig off stream, because it's totally worth putting in the extra effort for. It has so much potential, that antagonist does, to be super awesome. So yeah, we're on Master Emerald now, so let's get Master Emerald done. Will we have time to finish Master Emerald? I think we'll at least make a good start on Master Emerald's character sheet. So we'll get as much done as we can, and I might do White Watts and Glacians off stream. And I want to at least do half. By Friday's stream, I want to have done half the character sheets, so I've got more chance of finishing the others by Friday. Back from Lurking High Forgotten, welcome back. I'm heading off now. I have to nap. See you soon. Take care. Have a good nap, and thanks for hanging out. It's good to meet you. Have an awesome day, and have a good relaxing nap. We all need them. Look at that look at that cat, Forgotten. That is the cutest cat. I took a picture of my cat once when she was still with us, like with glowing eyes like that, and it was my favourite picture. Okay, so let's do Master Emerald then, and I'm gonna actually save the PSD now, just so we don't save over Davis accidentally. So what do you guys think of our new characters so far? So I'm going to get up Master Emerald character sheet. So it's under playable characters. Hi there, nice to meet you. I am just checking your project here. Oh, hi Goblin Prince, I like your name. I always like descriptive names like that, especially with like cute creatures in, and goblins are cute. They are. They're underappreciated. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, and if you have any questions at all, feel free to ask. Super cool. My character's so beautiful. I'm so glad you like your character, Fantasia. She is super cool. There's just a lot of like potential there. That masked character, like we could go all out and make a faction of masked like sort of villains, and she's like the leader of them and stuff. Although she does have a master that's above, but that's interesting too, that there's someone that she serves. Well, I'm the Prince of Goblins. I'm not as ugly as one though, but still, well, depends, doesn't it? Because some people out there think goblins are adorable. You know, even the ugliest of creatures need love. You know. Also, nice to meet a fellow Brit. Yeah, nice to meet you too. Good to meet you. Is your kitty there? My kitty? When I think of kitty, I'm thinking of that blue kitty there. In Asriel's character in the game. But my kitty, I did have a cat. She was beautiful. She lived till she was like 20 years old, if that's the cat you mean. What are you developing this in? Oh, it's in, I've got a command. Because I don't actually have on the website about RPG Maker, but it's going to be there as probably the first question on the FAQ page. Because I feel that's the most commonly asked thing. What engine do you use to develop Raindrop Chronicles? That's what I get a lot, so that'll probably go first. So yeah, feel free to look. It's super, honestly, super ideal for this project and what we've got in mind for it, because it lets us focus on the storytelling rather than the technical stuff. And that's what this is all about. It's like a storytelling, geeky, world building stream. Right. Master Emerald, there we go. And her name, I really like her name, Emeralise. And she is an elf. She is a chronomancer elf. So elf would go first here, and chronomancer will go here. So playable characters are a little bit different to the NPCs, because they actually have their job in their title. They have their race and then their job, whereas NPCs have their race and if they're an ally and antagonist, or you know, if they're a minor NPC, they'll have their like job, like if they're a merchant or something. But yes, guys, we're making character sheets today because we have a lot of community characters to get inserted into the game. Well, there's no rush to get them into the game, that's for sure. They will come whenever the time is right. Some might not come until episode 5. It all depends. But we need them there. We need their character sheets up on the website and in the Discord, because it's super cool for people to be able to have a nosy at them, and it helps like ideas as well for the future. Never used that before. Heard it's real easy. It is. Like, I used it when I was like 12 and managed to make something, even though it was terrible when I was 12. But yeah, you can like be a bit ambitious with it. if you want to stretch yourself more, there's plugins, there's advanced plugins out there, and I'm trying to like do things with it with Raindrop Chronicles that are quite ambitious, mainly with cutscenes, because the animations are quite limited in RPG Maker, in all honesty, but it's always possible to stretch something, an engine, and do hacks. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I meant you're in real life one. Yeah. Oh, it's all fine, Forgotten Crusader. She honestly had a really good life. She lived a very long time. She really did. You might be a bit biased about the new character because of her hair colour. Yeah. Oh, what's gone on? I totally missed that, but I trust Rex, and if something had gone down, then I'm sorry, Rex, if something was said. But yeah, you can message me later about it, because I totally didn't see that text or what was typed. Yeah. So anyway, let's change the subject. Okay, so where were we? So Elf Chronomancer. Have I spelled Chronomancer correctly? Because gotta make sure that's right. Yeah, that's fine. So this one is actually a time mage. It's 8 racing. We should probably get rid of David's avatar because it's misleading to see. All the characters are so great. I really love the new round, and the bottom of the screen is looking much fuller now. It is. We got lots of characters hanging out with us now. Lots of characters today. And over time, I'm sure it'll build up. But at the same time, I don't want us to get like too many, because I'm very like, it's important that we don't lose the quality. And if we have too many community characters, if there's way too many, we would eventually lose the quality we have, because we wouldn't be able to put as much focus into them if we have too many. So for that reason, eventually at some point this year, probably summer maybe, I will probably raise the raindrop requirement. But you've still got time, guys, if you want to get in and make a character while it's still 500 raindrops, because I'm going to keep it as it is for a little while longer, but giving you some warning in advance, just so you know, guys. The biggest pain when I have to make a character is giving them a name. Yeah, names can be challenging for sure, because you can do something really simple like Bob, but then you can give them a really creative, awesome name as well. But yeah, it can be hard to like get that name. I get that for sure. It's something that makes streamers feel uncomfortable. It wasn't meant to be creepy. We Brits do that a lot, but anyway, I'll leave it. Well, Rex like knows why generally I'm like find weird or not appropriate in the stream. So if he like pulls someone up for it, he'll usually say, because he goes by my rules and my, he's not going to just do anything for no reason. But yeah, it's all honestly, Goblin, like, we can move past this and forgive and forget. Like, you might have not like realised, but I'm going to just like give you a bit of story so you understand. I don't want it to sound like we're being rude or anything, but I've just had some stalkers from Britain that have tried to guess where I live based on my accent. There's just a bit of bad history there with people trying to guess where I live and my address, and for that reason it's just a bit of a difficult thing. But of course you completely might be innocent with this, and I don't take any offence if you are. It just can be a bit of a funny one is all. because of things like that have happened. Wasn't meant to be creepy, but it is. Understand your intent might be innocent, but there's lots of terrible people, and most streamers try to protect personal information, especially location. Yeah. I don't, if it's ever like asking me where I'm from, I never tell anybody where I live, like my city or anything. Like at most I say I'm from the Midlands, but I'll never like narrow it down more than that, because of like people who have been trying to find out where I live. What a name. Yeah, it's a lovely name. I wasn't trying to be rude, but you don't tell the much to showing dudes. It's okay. And the power sounds good too. I did feel it was a little rude and harsh given my intent, but yeah, move past it. Yeah, it's honestly, I'm fine. I just wanted to let you guys know like why it might have come across as like bad, like why offensive to us. I mean, I'm not offended. I'm only offended if someone's actually genuinely stalking me, but I believe you're innocent in this, so it's not it's fine. We can totally move past it. Move on. That don't mind, don't take respect, but strike one and make nice instead of a slap. Yeah, it's fine, it's okay. I just don't want anyone to feel like, you know, I'd never want someone to not feel welcome here, because I always try my best to make this a friendly and welcoming place as much as I can, and for new people and for regulars. Those creeps, yeah, bit of a culture clash there. Yeah, that can happen too, and for sure there was one word in particular I was talking about the other day that American people and British people see differently as well, so that can happen as well. Need to reach 500 raindrops for sure. Yeah, you got time, guys, and I'm not going to be super mean or anything. Like if like I see a few of you coming close to the 500, I'm not going to be cruel and just one day put it up to 1,000 when there's a lot of you coming close. So I'd probably like let the ones that are close get past that threshold before I put in the new 1,000 raindrop point, because it will have to happen eventually, because you probably understand, chat, like we would have so many characters that we wouldn't be able to keep up with if we keep it as 500 raindrops forever, because we do get lots of people come and hang out and who want to be a character in the game. So yeah, I feel like we're at a point where we could definitely get away with raising it at some point. Yeah, that seems to be a case. Spider, move on. Yeah, we should move on. We don't need to like, we can totally be friends again and forget this happened. I can easily forget this. It's not a problem to me, and I'm sure Rex will too. So we'll just be friends, okay, guys? We'll get on. We'll talk about the game and all the fun stuff. And honestly, I'll only, if something is genuinely a problem, I'll say for sure. But okay. Right, so let's get Master Emerald's avatar in, because she looks super cool. I take claim of the noodle character that may or may not appear in your game. A noodle character? That is original, for sure. I'm looking at the time, guys, and I can't believe it's already nearly 6 p.m. It's gone by quick, this stream. Always Kappa. Well, when we got a barrel character in the game, anything's possible. Is all. But you know, the community characters are limited to one of the 8 races, and I suppose we have to do that so things don't go too crazy. But I still think creativity, if you guys do want to be creative, that's fine as well. Time is going fast. It is time for a cup of tea. Anyone want one? I would like a coffee because I didn't have one today and I need one. This one looks like a tricky person. We can play as them. Yes. She is a playable character. I've put playable character banner at the bottom, so yes. She is a chronomancer, which is a time mage. It's a very fancy, more awesome way of saying time mage. So, you know, I'm interested to know. I'm really interested to know when the point when we'll be playing as this character. It could be soon, it could be in the future, we just don't know. But time mage is a very creative and interesting, unique class, and I'm glad that we're exploring those and not just limiting ourselves to the simple classes. I don't like tea, so no thanks. Some teas are nice. I don't like a lot of teas either, Moonshadow, but there's some that I really like specifically, so I have those ones. Toilet paper. You've got a toilet paper emoji. That's awesome. Right, so we got a bio for Master Emerald's character. Oh, I don't think we have, so we will be able to remove the text here and just make this bit shorter. And what I'm probably going to do is, because we'll have a PSD for Master Emerald as well without any text, we'll use her as a template for any future characters that also don't have bios, because not all of them do. If you look in the Discord, guys, there's a few that don't. And that's fine, you know. I say if you want to write more about your character, then feel free to, as long as the character sheet isn't like that. But if you want to keep it short, that's fine as well. You don't like coffee either? I'm weird. Nah, I never did until I got to a certain age. It was an acquired taste I developed. Argo, welcome back. How are you doing? Forgotten Crusader's got all the kitty emotes. All of them. They're in existence. Right, guys, so I know I'm hungry for my dinner time. But I've had a good stream, and thank you all new peoples and all you awesome peoples that have hung out with me today. It's been good chats. Don't like coffee? I love a whole lot of sugar caramel with a little coffee. What's your favourite drink then, those of you that don't like coffee? I'm curious to know. I'm fine too, yay. Okay, guys, so we're going to finish up now. Who would like to come on a raid? I usually drink coffee black. So I'm going to go for an Animal Crossing streamer, I think, today. There's a friend of mine who's online, who I haven't spoke to in a while, but she used to be on a Twitch team I was in. And haven't said hi in a while. So I'm gonna send you guys over to her. So she is a friggin' awesome human being. So her name is Violet. And I will see you guys on Friday. That's when I'll be back again. So take care, guys, and we'll do more character sheets then. And I might do some off stream, but keep an eye on the Twitter because that's where they'll get posted. Take care, guys.